Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael and Lee. Join us with topics that wake up the connection to your soul. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello and happy Friday, everyone. It's Friday, July 27th, and welcome to another episode of Lighten Up Talk Radio. It is a time to awaken your own inner master, everybody. This is the time. Each one of you has an amazing master inside of you, ready to come on out and share your mastery with the world, your inner beautiful master. How are you doing today, Lee?
I'm doing terrific, Michael. This energy in this room is quite amazing today, and we've already had our own experiences, not even been on the air, and it's just going to be a wonderful program. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're really just, as usual, we allow whatever's meant to be to happen on the show. Today, actually pretty much every day that Lee and I meet to do a show, we hang out and just have fun, go have lunch and do whatever, and just allow the day to just kind of take us wherever it's meant to go. And then usually at some point, something just shifts within us that points us into the direction to do something, whatever it is. And today we pulled out the card decks, and Lee got the message that she was going to pick cards, and then it felt, like, okay, then I'm going to do it too. And so we each ended up picking about 4 cards that were totally, absolutely, completely relevant with what is going on in each one of our lives right now. And then, Lee, you got the thought, let's put those little batch of cards that we selected together and each select one to talk about today.
And boy, did we pick the one to talk about today. This has been an incredible week for me. It's been a transition that has been totally incredible. It actually started to where this week I've really gotten into a long type meditations that I have not been doing, just brief ones before this week. I also got into going to have a massage on Wednesday, which totally opened me up into a lot of different avenues. And yesterday I actually sat for about 2 hours with Marianne Williamson listening to her CDs about releasing a lot of different things in your life. And that has been an awakening as far as myself and shedding some things with that this week. And then when the cards came up, it's just like the message the whole week was, now it's time to just start, in a universal type manner. And I know Michael and myself are always what's next. It's always on our mind of what's next. And it's actually, in the beginning, it was like, let's just slow it down and let's just take it day by day, and whatever that it is, it is. And we're still going to be doing that. But we're also being totally guided by divine intervention, all about it. It all comes into us exactly what we're supposed to be doing, exactly what we're supposed to be saying. And just to put it out on the air has been an incredible experience. And our listeners has just been quite amazing. It's just been a lot of numbers of people that is now listening to us. And we're very blessed to have that.
And the feedback's been appreciated.
Has been totally appreciated, and it's been just wonderful feedback. But the message this week was, you've gotten started, now you're going on. And it just has blossomed today. I had no clue what we were going to talk about, so we don't ever really go there. And it just happened. And we was at a restaurant, and we was talking about a subject, and the light blinked over our head in this great big restaurant, seafood restaurant, and all of a sudden one of Michael's spirit guides comes in. His name is James, and you might want to talk about what happened there.
Well, you were saying something. I just had to stop you for a minute because he wanted to speak, and what he had to say was around the shift that's going on in both of our lives right now, and confirming that things are really speeding up, and to go with it and stay in the flow, because sometimes things may get a little crazy. This word crazy kept coming up, which to me just, oftentimes just means a little hectic and faster paced, and you can't really control it. I really kind of felt that it's really letting go of control and letting each step unfold and going with whatever that next step is in the moment. Which today, when we sat down after we drew our cards, we each sat and then it was just like, it's time to meditate. We went into the meditations, and Lee, I saw you went out almost immediately in your meditation, and it took me a minute, but then I sat with my card, which we'll get into here in a minute, and I just all of a sudden started seeing a window, and I was taken into a past lifetime. And my card that I had picked, the final one that said popped up for me to talk about today, and I know we have picked this card within the last couple of weeks too. It's the Kali card, and it's endings and beginnings. And it says, the old must be released so that the new can enter. And I guarantee there's some of you all out there, probably most all of you out there, that are going through some kind of ending or new beginning, and it's time to release all the old so that the new can come on in. So anyway, I was meditating on this card for me, and it took me into this window, and I immediately saw a very stormy ocean, very hectic ocean, just all kinds. It was windy, just waves, huge waves. And then I kept looking, and then I saw this old ship out into the distance, an old wooden. To me, it was what I would think of as like a pirate ship or something like that. And it was way out into the distance, and I just kept going. It was like Spirit was guiding me to keep looking and don't stop, just keep focusing on that ship. And once I got to the ship, I saw it was like turmoil on the ship. The crew was fighting against one another, and there were quarrels and all kinds of stuff. And then from there, I was taken into kind of a sacred chamber in the ship, and I saw a vision of this woman, and it seemed like I didn't feel the woman totally, but I'm like, that's me. That was me. And then I was also shown this man, and the woman and the man wanted to be together, but something held them apart. And I saw the man drinking on the ship, so I assume that's likely what the case was. The man was stuck on the ship, and the woman couldn't take it, and so then she pulled out a sword and stabbed herself right in the heart. And I immediately felt the energy of the knife going through my heart. I could feel it. I didn't feel any of the motions, but I could feel the energy movement of the sword piercing through my energy field. It was just fascinating. And there was something that was a total ending about that. And until I woke up and came out of that meditation, did it really click in as to what that was about. Because a lot of times, and this goes way back in my life, I literally stab myself in the moment of a lot of situations. Whenever I feel like I'm going to be too strong, or I have to put myself out there in a way that's uncomfortable to me from past conditioning or whatever, I literally will stab myself in that moment because I feel I'm not worthy, or I'm not going to be able to get whatever it may be. And so gracefully, Lee, you said, after I expressed what I had been through in that meditation, you said, well, Michael, you killed it. And it just made so much sense, because I really did. And anytime that I ever think about that again, I can just say to myself, I killed that part of myself. I did it.
That's right. And it won't come back again. It's done. And I think that's what the listeners out here can definitely tap into that today. Because even though you've had experiences that have been going on your whole life, you can change it.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make any difference where you are in your life. You just have to set that intention that you want the change.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want the change, just center yourself and just be very quiet within yourself. And just ask to please show me what I need to do to take this away from me. And that's exactly what you had been asking for quite a long time. Mm. And you were open enough today to be able to open yourself up for that to be seen. And I think that all of that definitely circled around from our conversation. And when James, your spirit guide, came in, if you look at the way that the whole day has flowed for us, it has been a total day of releasing.
Yeah.
And just letting it go. Because you see, we have a huge purpose in our lives. And we've only just started with it. But there's a huge purpose out there. And there's a huge purpose out there for everybody. Everybody. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be on a radio show, on a TV show, or anything like that. It can just be a purpose within you. Because you're really the purpose of where you came to this lifetime. And you need to find your own self. And, until you find your own self, how can you really go out and give back to your children, to your family, to yourself? It doesn't make any difference how the family or anything is just based, even what they even think. Because it might not even be the same faith base. It might not be the same thinking base. It might not be any of it. But you can center yourself enough to whereas you can take out the energy to each one of those people that's in your life, and you can totally focus yourself into their energy to whereas it always will work. You don't even have to question yourself about that. So many of us just have a lot of questions. Well, I wonder if I said this right, I said that right, I wonder if I did this right, that right. Just forget it. Because that is nothing but second guessing yourself. And you keep going around the circle. Uh-huh. It's like being on a merry-go-round. You just keep going around on the merry-go-round. At one time or another, you have to put your foot out of that merry-go-round and you have to stop it. And that's a great parallel to think about. You need to just stop the merry-go-round from going around. Step out of it and go into whatever that you need to work on within yourself and relationships with other people, if that's what it is, or whatever that it is.
Exactly.
I mean, I had a situation yesterday that I have been toying within my body for a number of years. And yesterday I put a stop to it. I totally stopped it. I was unable to carry that burden with me another second. And I had to just lay it down. And I was in my car in the driveway here at this house, and I laid it down. I thought to myself, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm through. I've talked with this individual, and I've laid it down today, and I won't go there anymore. Doesn't mean I don't love them. Doesn't mean that I definitely have a lot of grace around them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean any of that. It's just that whenever that your journey is complete with all that you can deal with on a subject, you have got to lay it down and let it go. You can't keep getting on that merry-go-round and keep going around in circles. Just step out of it and let it go. 2012 is all around that. Mm-hmm. It's new beginnings and endings of what does not serve you anymore.
And those
we're
experiences
there. And we're there.
I don't know about you, Lee, but this year any holding on to anything has gotten way more intense. Mm-hmm. And I'm venturing to say that a lot of you are experiencing the intensity of anything that you're holding on to, and it's a blessing and a reminder to lay it down.
It is. It's
lay it down.
It's like a fog.
Yep.
When you get to where you can't even focus on a thought without jumping to another thought, which is the monkey brain thoughts, that's when that is a huge sign that divine sends to you. It is time for you to stop, center yourself, and start looking another direction, because obviously you're doing the merry-go-round trip.
Uh-huh. We've all done it, haven't we?
We've all done it. We've
done it.
all been there.
And every time you just have to remind yourself to get into that quiet, centered mode.
And don't beat yourself up over it. Because when it's supposed to be there, it will. And so you can never go into the energy of saying, well, obviously this is not going to be conquered. Well, if you think that way, it won't. And there will always be somebody out there that can help you go to the next level of where you want to be within yourself, which is peace.
Lighten it up.
Lighten it up, peace.
Yeah, it's just so wonderful. I'm so grateful that we have this particular message that we can share, to lighten up all of these experiences. Things don't have to be serious. No. And I believe you me, I've spent a lot of time in my life being serious about things, and it's a reminder every day to just lighten it up. Play. Don't get caught up in the minutia of it. Just have fun with it. Everything's a learning experience.
Well, it's just exactly why we're down here. The word journey. We're on a journey. We're on a journey.
Not just to get one place.
No. We're on a journey from the time that we come into this world to the time that we leave out of this world. It's a journey. And what a journey that can be. And you have the free will to make it a good journey or not so good a journey. That is your choice as an individual. It has nothing to do with anybody but you.
You know what just struck me? I wasn't even looking at this card, and I saw in my mind the vision of the flower in this right hand. I'll explain this card a little bit. It's got the moon with a face, and there's an eye in the third eye area of the face, and then there's a right hand, and within that right hand is a red flower. And the right side is oftentimes, I think of it as the masculine, where you have to take charge of your own destiny. You have to take the steps, and you have to claim it, allow that flower of passion, the red, the orange, and the yellow of that flower it's birthed, you have to take charge of it as far as taking the steps, the first step to claim it. And you also oftentimes have to be the one to let go of the things so that the ending can occur. So it's a two-way street. We have to go in, and we in our masculine side have to be the ones to do the initial, whatever, the thought of it, the release of it, okay, I'm ready to release it, whatever it is, that intention, you got to do the first step.
That's correct. And what I also see in this card is your third eye here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at your third eye, and you're also looking at the flower in your hand. So the third eye is where the intuition can come into you. And all you need to do is shut your eyes and visualizing your hand up, and that flower will totally bloom. You have your own destiny in your eyes, and your eyes connecting to the blooming that's in your hands.
And the moon, this card's pretty amazing. Actually, the more we get into it, it's got a whole universe. You're connected to the universe. The moon energy is about receiving the divine feminine. You have the masculine and the feminine.
And the blue is calming.
You
see, you're very
peace.
Calm. That's a very peaceful, calm-looking card.
That's beautiful.
It is that.
So I'm sure that there's lots of you folks out there that could take a minute to tune in to whatever it is going on in your life that's time to end, it's time to complete, and also step into some new beginning, some new thing, new experience. Go for it.
That's it.
What was your card today, Lee?
My card is a real light violet. and it's a white, and it looks like just an absolute angel blossoming out of a flower. And it says, "You are just getting started. So have patience with yourself and the process, and do not give up." And it is a blossoming card. Arakura is the goddess's name.
Yeah, both of our cards are from the goddess deck. Boy, these cards go totally hand in hand.
And they do. They totally go hand in hand. And when I actually pulled this card today, it was very interesting to me that I went totally into a trance type situation. I call it trance within me. And a very spinning, when I go into another place, I go back and forth sometimes, back, right, left, like a clock. Other times I go into a spinning type situation. This card totally put me there. And what I believe that will happen with this show is that I will open myself totally up to go into a channeling situation. Because what I got out of this card today was, you are just getting started, so have patience. And divine order needs to speak about this. And this will be a total first for me on the air, to be able to allow that to come in and speak to you. But I think that that is exactly what was meant to be. Because when I took this as you are getting started, my start is this. My start is being right where I'm at right now, but also my destiny is to go to other places and get a lot of other things started. It's all of our desires to do that. And Michael and myself have both always had that. And we do it in different ways, and that's the way it's supposed to be. If we were just alike, it just wouldn't work.
Be pretty dang boring.
It would be very
it?
boring, wouldn't it? And so it just works out beautifully, whichever way that it's received is supposed to be. And it also said to please have patience with yourself. And that is due to I always want it now instead of waiting for my patience. So I definitely recognize that. And the process. I'm firmly convinced that the process of this is totally going from a process of sitting in just a small little radio type place to go to a process of universal guidance, and not to give up regardless of how many doors that may open or may shut, that might not be the way that I think that it would be. I get out of my own head and I just allow for that to happen and have the patience for that. I've always felt that this show, which definitely came from divine guidance of Lighten Up, and this show was due to start at one level and go to a lot of different levels. And this is accepting that and knowing that wherever that we're led to go, we will, because we will follow what our destiny is. And I only pray for everybody out there to please tap into themselves and to be able to do the same.
Absolutely. It's amazing because what we've had certain thoughts of what we've wanted to do with this show, and they very well likely will happen, but we're learning, just as you all are out there and whatever we're doing in life, to be open to whatever comes in this moment, and whatever it looks like is how it's supposed to be. And again, that's the blossoming. What a beautiful card, because we're all continuing to blossom, but we do have to open up and allow it to happen. So any of you out there, it's time for you to blossom too. We're all in this amazing energy of 2012, which is totally about blossoming, as well as the endings and the beginnings. It's just all this card's perfectly tied in together. So if there's anything in your life right now that you want to try, you have the desire to evolve, expand, go there. Go for it. Allow the beautiful master within you to blossom and grow and continue to open up. Lee was talking a little bit about this channeling and the experience that she had. And everyone, I believe, has the ability to channel and bring through messages from the universe. It may be an angel, your spirit guide, ascended masters, or the divine energy of God, or whatever you think about it. And oftentimes when people, I'm going to say people because everyone experiences the process of channeling or receiving guidance differently. I've typically go into kind of a meditation state, and sometimes even experience what Lee was talking about earlier, about where your body or my body goes into kind of a spinning mode, in which Lee's body oftentimes really goes into a spinning mode when she prepares to open up. And there's also different types of ways that you experience it. I typically have experienced channeling in more of a conscious place where I'm still aware on some level of what's going on, and other people are pretty unconscious when they're channeling and they don't even know what they're saying or hearing. So it's going to be really fun today, because today we're opening up this amazing show to allow this idea of channeling the universal messages from the divine through. And so Lee is opening herself up to just allow the universe to speak whatever is meant to be today. It's a beautifully amazing process, and you can experience it yourself and open up to it yourself just through meditation and quieting your mind. And the more you practice, the more that you take the time in your life to open up and blossom, the more that you will receive. So I'm going to ask Lee right now if she's ready to share any particular information that is coming forth through her. I see the energies really moving around her right now, and she is preparing to go into this channeling mode. It's really fascinating to watch, and at some point we're going to get this on video. So she just took a nice deep breath.
My children, you are all blessed. You are all so blessed. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up your hearts. Wake up all that's within you. As this show has talked about today, how wonderful that it is to feel the energy of not only in the local type areas, but now it is time. It is time to where we could come in and we could talk about universal. When you go totally into yourself and totally into love, totally into peace, totally into non-judgment of anyone, and just keep yourself free. Keep yourself free. You have all the help. Everyone has help with them. Guides are always with you. You always have your free will to do whatever. But you need to tap into your own self and get in to the energy of who you really are. We always wait, and we don't have time. Only you have time. It's very amazing to see whenever you're always into clocks, into your watches, into your electronic equipment. That's always great because it has been invented for you to use. But you seem to forget to be within yourself. Yourself is the most important thing, because when you're totally into yourself, it works for everyone around you. Your family. Most of your hearts are with your family. But all these hearts need to be opened up to move your families into a place of peace. Peace. 2012 is what a wonderful year. And what a wonderful year to make changes within your life. And we pray every day that every soul in the universe will find their way to the light within them, to where it's always, always, always love for yourself first. And look for the purpose. Everyone has one. And it's very easy to find that. All you need to do is ask. Divine order will always be there for you. The God within us is always there. The God within you is always there. The energy is always there. All you need to do is speak and open your heart, and the flow of the universe will be there for you. Things happening within your life is designed to be. It was written before you came. So it's within your soul to know what that is. Wake it up. Just wake it up. Love and light for all creation. Love yourself. And so it is.
So it is. What a beautiful experience. To thank Lee for allowing herself to step to the side and bring through a beautiful message from the universe for us today. Each one of us has the ability to open our hearts and receive messages from the universe. We just have to stop and listen. Welcome back, Lee.
Welcome back, Michael.
It was interesting, as is usual. Oftentimes when people go into a channeling mode, their voice changes and experience different. You experience them differently because your voice went to a different mode and you were quieter and softer.
Well, I'm glad I have that side. Most people that know me now would definitely say, wow, you can actually get quiet. Yeah, I can when I go to the other side.
Oh, that's hilarious. I've experienced you do that quite a lot over the years. But this is the first time today where you've ever done it on the air, or really in a group setting, I believe. I don't remember you ever really doing that in a group setting. Or definitely not on the air.
Well, I wouldn't know. I'll listen to this show and I'll be able to see the difference. I'm just going on what you say, Michael. I trust you.
But we'll let you listen.
Okay.
When the show's over.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It really today has been an amazing blessing of a continuation of a threads from really since we've started this show. I just really had this awareness. I would say the common thread for the show has been talking about opening up hearts, which you talked about when you went into channel mode, allowing the endings to happen and the new beginnings to start. It's definitely been a common thread today. I feel like we've circled back around to allowing ourselves, as the card that you picked, to blossom and grow, continue to grow this year and open up and to try new things. I couldn't speak it enough and about allowing yourself to try some new things. If you've done something the same way over and over again, just to step out and give something new a try.
And nature is also you need to walk outside
Mm.
and pay attention to the clouds in the sky. They're absolutely magnificent. Totally different than any type of year that I've ever looked them. Also, the sun, the moon. Just enjoy the birds. Enjoy everything about the nature and your life, and just let it just come into you. And I've talked before about the Ted Andrews book, Animal Speaks. Pay close attention of the actual animals that surround you, that you can just, like, particularly birds. I've had a lot of birds, rabbits, squirrels, that type of thing, and it's an abundance of it. And when you start seeing the same type of, like, cardinal, which I see a lot, or the same type of that, and they come near you, do you know birds are great as far as just giving messages to you?
Oh, yeah.
Open yourself up at that second. And if nothing else, just look at the bird, and it's quite amazing how close that they will get to you. But there, God has sent a lot of messengers this year. A lot of messengers. So look for them. Look for them. And when you go to bed at night, bless that to come into your dreams. Your dreams are just magnificent now. Just magnificent. Open up your mind and your body and your soul to just pay attention to all of that. What time that you wake up, if it's at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:01. I've had 3:01 the last 2 nights. And then, we have an angel number book that you can get from Doreen Virtue. And read the messages of when you wake up, because when Spirit knows that you're paying attention to all of this, it's quite amazing how it just totally opens you up. And you will be totally amazed. Stay patient. Stay patient. Calm yourself and pay attention to everything around you. And this is the year to just embrace it. Totally embrace it. This is not the year of loss. It's the year of gain.
It is time to wake up to the abundance and the awesomeness of life. There's been so much death consciousness in the world, the dim view, as you often say, and it is time to wake up to the splendor. And I thank you, Lee, for talking about the synchronicities and kind of bringing up. You talked about it differently, but the word synchronicities kept coming to me when you were talking, and how important to be aware of the synchronicities in your life and the common threads that are going on from the day-to-day of your life, because through those common threads, they are guidance, total and complete divine guidance. And so if you have some reoccurring, whether it's an animal sign that you see over and over again, you can sit and meditate on it, or find some of these. There's great books everywhere, like the book that you mentioned earlier. Like Ted Andrews has some wonderful stuff for the animal signs and nature stuff. But there's all kinds of things out there, and that's what the message that just keeps coming to me about opening self up to new things is trying some of these new avenues to receive guidance, receive love, receive clarity. Because oftentimes when we do things the same old way, we get the same old results.
That is correct. And, something that just came to me strongly the first of this week was, and this was from just a brief channel situation, that you pray at night and you pray first thing in the morning, because you want God to listen to you to where you're honoring God. The first thing as soon as you open your eyes and before you put your feet on the floor. And the last thing at night before you go to sleep is to honor God. Because what an amazing day that you've had, and an amazing life that you will have when you wake yourself up.
It's time to wake up, people. Wake that heart up, wake that soul up, wake up to the connection to that soul. It is time. I like to put a a challenge, so to speak, or an opportunity for people, with what you just said, Lee, to, in your waking up or in your going to bed, to wake up with a refreshed or a new mantra, a new thought, a new prayer. Let's renew it. How about renew your prayer? Have a renewed sense of prayer going and getting before you get out of bed. I'd like to put that intention for everyone listening to do that. I've been doing that lately myself. I have a thought that I run through, but I too am going to try something new with this and wake up with it. And when I go to bed, and I expect amazing things.
And when you expect amazing things, that's exactly what happens, because your intention is out there to have it. You need to awaken to your spiritual self.
It's time.
And when you awaken to your spiritual self, it's like a fire in you.
Mm.
It's just like fire runs through you. And that's all that you want to do. And every day that you wake up, you thank that day that you're awake, and you also put the intention out there of what you're going to do in your life to change something within you.
Mm.
Every day,
awesome.
A different change. If that change does not work that day for you, then that night you lay it down. And you just lay it down. You don't beat yourself up over it.
Mm.
And the very next morning, you have the one that didn't change the day before, and you add a new one onto it. And at the end of your week, look back over your days and see all that has come in fruition for you. If they haven't come, then pick up the ones that didn't and move them on over to the next week, because you're working. You're working your spiritual self.
You know, Lee, I truly believe that what you just said is the true awakening. The true awakening to me is being in the moment with each and every part of life and the process. And I love how you put the divine within you, the awakened self, put to lay it down, to speak whatever it is that you need to, and be open for a new prayer, a new whatever it is. And if you don't know what it is, just put it out. I don't know what my new prayer needs to be yet. Show me what it needs to be. Show me what my prayer. Maybe you need to have a sense of prayer or intention for strength to do whatever it is in your life that you need to do. Maybe a prayer for guidance. Maybe a prayer for, letting go of something, having the clarity and focus to do something in particular in your life, but being open to whatever that is and laying it down every day, trusting that that prayer will be answered in its own process and time. It may be a day, it may be a week, it may be a month, it may be a year, but that you are willing, with the patience, I know has come up several times a day on this show, you actually spoke about that word, of being patient for the process, and also being able to look back and say, oh wow, something has changed for me asking.
I'm actually, I'm being told, so let's just put it this way. So I'm kind of going back in my other self here a minute. That we all put it out there to totally stop negativity. Because when we shift ourselves from negativity to positivity, we change the whole world.
And I have another divine idea on top of that, and that would be to energetically all imagine, whoever's listening on this show right now, that we're holding hands together in a circle around the globe with that intention.
And we're all one. Let's shine the light. Let's put it together
Let's
as we
do
speak
it.
right now. We're shining the light down from the heavens. We're putting all the energy into this over communication throughout the whole world and the whole universe and all that we don't even know that's out there, that is out there. But it's all greatness. It's all God sent. It's all great things that we tap into and we learn from this. And we learn how to always have a positive mode about us and to get totally out into our upper higher selves to where we will change and shift and do everything that we possibly can as a universal body. That this is a great world. And we now are going to elevate ourselves to not take any less than that. And so it is.
And so it is. And the Master's awake.
The Master's awake.
Thank you for joining us today. As we've had some new adventures today, and we will continue, as will you in your life. And let's embrace them together.
We love all of you that's listening and all of you that's not on the air listening to us. We still know that this message is going out in a universal space, and we love all.
And so it is. Talk to you soon. Lots of love.